Bernard here. I hope you're all staying safe and well, and welcome to my film and TV channel. And we go over to the world of Netflix today. This has been out for 2 or 3 weeks as I'm recording this, and April the 16th 2021, so it's been available for 2 or 3 weeks, so I've got round to watching this. It's an 8-episode series, a supernatural adventure sort of thing. So today, join me as we look at something called The Irregulars. Please, if you're new to the channel, push that subscribe on, push the bell notifications. I try and inform on these, and if we can get a little bit of a laugh or entertain on these things. I mean, obviously, even the serious stuff, so there's got to be some humour. There's supposed to be humour in this. We have a character who's been put in for humour, but more on that in a moment. Yes, please join me as we look through this. And of course, if you look at the playlist, there's lots of movie reviews, TV drama reviews, information vlogs, magazine vlogs, etc. And you'll also see some football stuff as well. If that's no interest, don't worry about it. But if you or anyone you know might be interested, it's on my team, Manchester City. I do city history, city present, city quizzes, city book clubs, loads of different things as well. So please, if you can help me and point me in someone in that direction, if they may be interested, that'd be fantastic. But we're looking at film and TV today, and obviously if you check on my Facebook or Twitter or follow me or friend me on there, I do post loads of film and TV stuff, and every 2 or 3 days I check and follow and friend everyone back. So if you're just starting off or whatever it is, and you're after some follows and friends, seek me out and I will reciprocate. Of course, all comments are welcome on this if you've seen it. Say it's been out a little while, you may have seen this already and had an opinion. Just let me know what you think. Is there anything to do with film and TV? And also look out on Tuesdays. Now, every Tuesday in here in the UK, it's 5 p.m, 5 till 6:30 p.m. I do a little live show now as well, where we discuss what you're watching, what you've been watching, what you're looking forward to, just on film and TV. So please join me for that. Even if you just pop on for 5 or 10 minutes to say hello, please join me for that little show that I've started doing. So that'll be much appreciated if you can tune in for that. Right, let's have a look at this, The Irregulars. Yeah, it's 8 times, about 45-minute episodes. It's classed as a crime drama, obviously, but it is fantasy. It is set in Sherlock Holmes times. We've got Sherlock Holmes in this, and Mr. Dr. Watson, isn't it? But yeah, so we've got that. I mean, is it necessary for the production? Probably not. It's nice to link it in with that thing, but obviously it's not overly. It could have been anyone. It could have been anything. But obviously, getting the hook of Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson obviously was aimed at getting perhaps a few more people watching in on this. So it's set in Victorian London, and it follows a gang of troubled street teens who are manipulating, solving crimes for the sinister Dr. Watson, of course, sinister Dr. Watson, and his mysterious business partner. Yeah, the elusive Sherlock Holmes. As the crimes take on a horrifying supernatural edge and a dark power emerges, it'll be up to the Irregulars. Yeah, I think these actually featured in Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's 1 or 2 of his books as well. So they did exist as such. So that's where the link comes in. But as I said, the stories pretty tentative, to say the least. The Irregulars to come together to save not only London but the entire world. They're only young teenagers who do a grand job. Created by Tom Bidwell. This premiered on the 26th of March 2021, so there you go. It features, David McKell as Spike. He's described as a fast-talking charmer. Yep, he holds a group together with level-headed good humour. Yeah, the word humour's in there, but yeah, there we go. A bit more on that in a moment. Thaddeus Graham plays B, the leader of the Irregulars. Jojo Macari is Billy, the oldest of the Irregulars, and he's the muscle. He's the muscle of the group. Harrison Osterfield as Leo. He's a prince. He's a prince from the palace. He's got haemophilia. There you go. And Darcy Shaw as Jessie, B's younger sister, who sort of has nightmares but can sort of see things just by touching people and see their past and stuff like that. So she gets into all sorts of trouble. Is it any good? Well, Rotten Tomatoes, Not too bad. It holds an approval rating of 77% based on 31 critics and has an average rating of 6.6 out of 10, so that's not a bad little score. The consensus reads on the website, it taps into some fairly regular plot points, but when it dares to defy expectations and focus on its charming young cast, the Irregulars hints at something truly special lingering beneath the surface. Yeah, well, I think it sort of stayed beneath the surface, unfortunately, for me anyway. Metacritic reported a weighted average score for the series of 60 out of 100, so 6 out of 10. That's just based on 12 critics' reviews, and 6 were positive and 6 were mixed. Yeah, so I'm more with the mixed, I think, on this one. And it scores anywhere from 4 to 8 out of 10 from the various critics. Ed Power of The Telegraph, he liked it. He gave it 6 out of 10. He went on to say, though never less than a romp, The Irregulars is a puckishly irreverent towards Holmesian lore. Holmesian lore, that's it. Feeling as much inspired by 19th century ghost stories as by Arthur Conan Doyle himself, but it has at least tried to be different. And whatever hardcore Baker Street buffs make of it, I don't think they'll make very much of it, lovers of hokum will find the time passing at a giddy clip. Well, I almost fell asleep a couple of times, but hey, there you go. And I do like a lot of hokum, so I don't know where I've missed out on that one. Brian Tellerico from RogerEbbett.com only gave it 4 out of 10. You know, despite an interesting idea, it has too many of the common flaws of Netflix original programming. There's enough talent here to suggest that it could develop into something more interesting in the future. But the real mystery here is how so many interesting individual elements can struggle to form an entertaining whole piece. So less than complimentary. Internet Movie Database, yeah, that does Joe Public. I think the audience on Rotten Tomatoes, there wasn't many people who left a review, but it wasn't as happy as the critics were. And Internet Movie Database, Joe Public, you and me, 8,604 scores and reviews left at 5.8 out of 10, so just a couple of points under that magical 6 out of 10 watchable thing. And the episodes, those do score anywhere between 6.3 and 7.2. For the 8 episodes. Right, well, that brings me on to my little thoughts. I mean, what disappoints me with this basically is this could have been. I did think this, and as I was reading through the reviews, a couple of people also mentioned it. This could have been Stranger Things. This could have been Stranger Things set in and around Sherlock Holmes's London. That's what this could have been. Sadly, it doesn't quite pull that off. I'm sure it wasn't meant to be that, but it's a great shame because they've missed a real trick here in the actual screenwriting and the plots for this thing. They've actually missed out just a little bit. As I say, there are elements there that I think they could have progressed, and even though it may have been a bit more of a copy, I think it would have been would have helped the production. A series like this obviously needs a good story, or stories and subplots, etc. Plus characters you care about. I mean, obviously these are regulars. You've got to like them. You've got to hope they do okay and save the world, etc. But sadly, in my case, I think most of the characters are pretty uninteresting. They didn't really interest me whatsoever. And though the acting is competent, I just didn't really care about any of them throughout the 8 stories. I'm sure perhaps if they had 2 or 3 less characters, it may have been more entertaining. I mean, Thadia Graham, for instance, the leader of the gang, and basically she's the one who's asked to lead the whole series, and all credit to her. She's only a young, I'm not sure of her age in real life, but it's a big task ahead of her there, and she's asked to hold this whole thing together. And I honestly thought she was the least likeable of all the people in the actual thing itself. So there you go. And most of the other characters and actors are not much better. There's no one that really stood out that I really wanted to stick up for, which is part and parcel of something like this. You know, in Stranger Things, you've got characters there that you care about and you want them to do okay and survive, etc., but not so much in this one. As far as the story, yeah, I mean, if you get a good script, you can put up with, obviously, say, competent acting at best, but there's not enough to sustain. There's not enough story in it to sustain. It builds slowly to a climax, but the climax is all a bit of an anticlimax because you're not overly that edgy, you see, interested anyway. But the whole thing for me got a little bit monotonous at times, which is a great shame. And as for this guy adding the humour, obviously humour holds a gang together, I must have missed that line because I didn't really sense much of that in it at all, to be honest with you. So yeah, 8 episodes. It did feel a long 45 minutes, some of these episodes. It seems to go on for a lot longer than that, because obviously there's a lot of stuff just didn't quite work in them. I must admit, after the 8 episodes, I do find it hard to remember anything that really happened or interested me. I enjoyed the sets, I enjoyed how it was laid out, and obviously money was spent. I wouldn't say it was low budget, but I did like the atmosphere and the feel of it for most part. There's some great scenes as well. There was a fantastic scene towards the end of the film where there's sort of disemboweled bodies lying around the docks, and I think this some of this was shot in Liverpool actually as well. But and a destroyed ship, and some of that is very, but it doesn't have the story to go along with some of these like images. You know, there's some great images in the series, but it doesn't have the exciting or edge of the seat or supernatural scary. As I say, there's a little bit of horror in this as well. It's not scary enough to actually make any real impression, but that's it. I think there's so much potential in this. You had so much put into this, but I just think it was sadly so much potential lost for me. I just think it didn't quite work on the screen, and it could have been so much better, because they did make the effort, to say, to put together an okay cast, a younger cast to appeal to younger adults, etc. as well. But I must admit, I can't imagine younger adults being overly enthused by this, and I would imagine them getting a little bit bored like I did. And the episodes themselves, I'm not going to mark the episodes individually, because they all... none really stood out for me. I wouldn't say, oh, that episode 1 was great and episode 8 was fantastic. They were just all much of a sameness all the way through it. So as I said, very, very forgettable in my mind. I'm not... There possibly will be a series 2, but it will have to be improve on a story. Or say, I'll put up with the acting as long as the story is okay. But sorry, you combine the two characters I'm not really that bothered about, then yeah, very, very forgettable, unfortunately. I've looked through the reviews. There are people who do like it. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of people out there saying it's excellent, etc., etc. So I'm not going to be a total downer on it. My little score for this one, I'm going to give it a 5.5 out of 10, which, if you know my scores, is just below my watchable rating. But I say there is bits in it. There is bits in the 8 episodes to keep you interested, but yeah, if you watch episode 1 and 2 and you're not quite getting into it, it's not going to improve that much. It sort of lays out what you're going to get. In fact, I thought the early episodes were probably better than the later episodes, but I think I got a little bit bored with it all by the end of the series, by episodes 6, 7 and 8. When it was building to a climax, I'd lost a little bit of interest, but I had to keep on. I could have been dragged back in. Unfortunately, I wasn't. Anyway, if you watch this, let me know what you think. As I say, I was very disappointed. It had so much potential, just the look of it, the feel of it, and I say it could have been so much more than it was. But say, there you go, just one of those things. Anyway, let me know what you think. Anyway, thanks for watching. Whatever you're going to do the rest of the day, have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More importantly, let's all look after each other. Until we meet here again on the Film and TV channel, or you tune into my live thing, please do so on, I say, on a Tuesday 5 PM. Do that for me. Or we meet again on the Citizen channel, perhaps, if you fancy to have a looking over there. Whatever it is, all I ever ask of everyone out there is please stay safe, everyone. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you later. Bye bye.